Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israeli Defense Minister Israel approves the enlistment of an additional 60,000 IDF troops ahead of the military's decisive operation against Islamist Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Jerusalem has yet to formally respond to the latest Egyptian-Qatari proposal for ending the war in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accuses his Australian counterpart, Albanese, of betraying Israel and abandoning Australia's Jewish community. Israel has not yet responded formally to the latest ceasefire and hostage release deal proposal that the Islamist Hamas had accepted earlier this week, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to schedule a security cabinet meeting to discuss Israel's response. In parallel, however, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz, in a meeting with IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir at Southern Command this morning, received a comprehensive situational assessment of the Gaza Strip and the plans for the looming offensive against Hamas and its terror affiliates, after which Jerusalem's top defense official approved the enlistment of an additional 60,000 IDF reserve troops and the extension of an additional 20,000 reservists. Defense Minister Israel Katz subsequently announced, quote, "We now call to the flag our heroic soldiers in the reserves, regulars, and our professional ranks to bring about the release of the hostages, the surrender of the Islamist Hamas, and the end of the war on the terms set by Israel. I instruct you to use all tools and all power to strike the enemy until it is subdued and to protect the IDF soldiers." Meanwhile, the IDF will begin to issue call-up orders to the 60,000 reservists to facilitate the effort to conquer Gaza City. The soldiers will be obliged to report for duty in another 2 weeks' time, when they are due to join another 70,000 reservists who have already been mobilized and are deployed in several different sectors ahead of the large-scale offensive. Turning to Doha, where Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majed Al-Ansari urged Israel to accept the agreement, which he highlighted represents for the Qataris the best possible option to end the war.
هذا المقترح بالنسبة لنا يمثل أفضل الخيارات الممكنة في إطار حقن دماء الأشقاء في قطاع غزة، خاصة في إطار التصعيد العسكري المستمر والخطط التي نعلمها جميعا ونسمع عنها في وسائل الإعلام. بالتالي هذا المقترح سيتضمن مسارا للوصول إلى اتفاق شامل لإنهاء الحرب، كما بطبيعة الحال هو يتضمن وقف مؤقت لإطلاق النار لمدة 60 يوما. خلال هذا الوقف المؤقت يتم تبادل عدد من الأسرى والرهائن، ولكن أيضا إعادة تموضع الإسرائيلية في إطار هذا الاتفاق تترافق مع دخول مكثف للمساعدات حسب لغة الاتفاق.
It is important to highlight that while the Qatari-Egyptian proposal that was agreed by Hamas is characterized as near identical to the American proposal that the Palestinian terror group had rejected a couple of weeks ago, the new proposal is nonetheless different, including in relation to the expected repositioning of IDF troops during the proposed 60-day ceasefire. Meanwhile, in Washington, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about whether the United States was supportive of the Qatari-Egyptian proposal and whether it was involved in its formulation in any way.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Hamas accepted this proposal after the President of the United States posted a very strong statement about this conflict on Truth Social yesterday. I would refer you back to that statement. As for this proposal that Hamas has now accepted, the United States continues to discuss it, and I'll let the President weigh in on it definitively.
Meanwhile, residents of the Gaza Strip responding to whether they believe Israel would accept the Qatari-Egyptian outline voiced mixed reactions.
أنا بقول وبتوقعه كأحد أبناء الشعب الفلسطيني الموجود في قطاع غزة، واحد المكلومين، واحد النازحين، بتوقع إنه يكون الرد إيجابي، علشان خلص بدها تنهي هي الوضع اللي صار والجماعة امبارح قدموا الرد تبعهم بالإيجابي، وحيكون في رد إيجابي إن شاء الله إنها تكون اليوم ردة اليوم.
أتوقع إن شاء الله 80 ل 90% إيجابي، بس إنهاء الحرب ما أعتقدش، لأنه في عنده أهداف ثانية اللي هو تكميل دمار غزة.
In contrast to the cautious optimism voiced, thousands of Gazans have decided to leave Gaza City, evidently believing Israel's intentions to launch its offensive within 2 weeks' time.
لأول مرة يعني احنا يمكن قلت لنا 5 مرات بنطلع وبننزل، لأول مرة ناخذ أغراضنا يعني زي هيك. بلغونا يعني امبارح إنه يطلع من منطقة الزيتون إنها ساحة قتال، وطلعنا وهي بدنا نطلع على الجنوب تاني عاود.
خايفين من نخش بري يعني، فاحنا طلعنا أخذنا شوية أغراض، بدنا نروح على الجنوب لقينا مكان نقعد فيه ونأمن آلنا.
In other related news, tensions between Israel and Australia continue to fester following consecutive anti-Israel decisions by the Australian government to include its decision to recognize a Palestinian state absent any political process, alongside with Canberra's decision to bar entry of a number of Israeli lawmakers and former officials. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded with a statement on his X account in which he stressed that history will remember Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese for what he is, a weak politician who betrayed Israel and abandoned Australia's Jews. Australian Prime Minister subsequently did not delay a response.
I don't take these things personally. I engage with people. Diplomatically, he's had similar things to say about other leaders. What I say is that Israel, of course, increasingly there is global concern. And global concern because people want to see an end to the cycle of violence.
Albanese continued by claiming that while he remains resolute in Canberra's demand for Jerusalem to end the war, he views also the visit by some Israeli officials as bringing the conflict to Australia.
We'll continue to put forward Australia's position. And, Australians want those two things. They want the cycle of violence to stop, and they don't want conflict brought here. And that is very clear, and that's been the response from leaders of the community.
Turning to Washington, where the U.S. National Security Council's Senior Director for Counterterrorism, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, in a Q&A session with Hudson Institute's Dr. Mike Duran, stressed that from U.S. President Donald Trump's perspective, the most pressing threat that requires Washington's attention in the Middle East is no other than the Islamic Republic of Iran.
You need to understand one thing. When the president looks at the region, he doesn't slice it down into cylinders of excellence. He doesn't care if you're the Syria desk officer or the natural resources expert. He has one overlay for the whole AOR, and that one metric, that one prism is Iran. And he's absolutely right. If we just did a thought experiment in terms of how many proxies are supported by that bloodthirsty regime, if they weren't supported to the tune of billions of dollars by Iran, the world would be a much, much safer place. There is a reason that in the president's letter to the supreme leader, there were only two issues. It wasn't bloviating, JCPOA, fake diplomacy. It was two things. We will not permit you to acquire nuclear weapons, and you must desist now all support of proxies. That's why Iran is front and center in everything we do in the region, because they remain the greatest state sponsor of terrorism.
Dr. Golka continued by highlighting Iran's continued support for its terror proxies throughout the region and beyond.
If you just do the open source investigation, the sheer amount of monies that Tehran are providing these proxies, if you're not in our world, you know the numbers, but if you're not in our world, the literal billions of dollars that are being taken out of the coffers of the Persian people and the minorities that live in Iran to fund literal insurgents and terrorist groups. If a fraction of that figure were actually able to penetrate into the conscience of those living in that regime, I think we'd see a very different Persia.
It is important to highlight that Iran's deadline for a resumption of nuclear talks is rapidly approaching, with France, Britain, and Germany warning that unless the Ayatollah regime agrees to talk by August 31st, the European powers will trigger the snapback mechanism, which will effectively reinvigorate a long list of sanctions targeting Iran's nuclear program. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Let us not forget that 50 hostages, to include up to 20 who are believed to be alive, who've now endured 684 days in brutal Hamas captivity in the Gaza Strip. Therefore, please continue to pray for them, as well as for their families, and pray also for the peace of Jerusalem, as well as for the salvation of Israel. Separately, if you're blessed by our daily program, since TV7 is exclusively donation-based, any contribution will help us share the truth from here in Jerusalem. You can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.